What's going on, y'all? Happy Wednesday. You know what time it is. Are you ready for Black Love Lens? I titled this something like, Why Do Men Minimize and Dismiss Women's Feelings and Emotions? So, you know how we do. We get a viral video, we talk about it, and we listen to your comments and input. So, you know the drill. Share this with a friend, sit down, join the discussion, and let's get into it. Y'all know what time it is. It is a Black Love Lens. It is Wednesday, and I'm not having this conversation by myself. I'm with the coolest, dopest dating and relationship consultant I've ever known in Nyatu Building.
Hey, happy winning Wednesday.
Yes, let me get us looking right. Where we at? Boom.
I was wondering, I was like, my screen is real small.
Yeah, why
So
you look so little?
the sunglasses are not a style or wardrobe change.
Oh, I was like,
I have an infection in my right eye, and I didn't want to be on here looking like the late great Bushwick Bill. So it was either
well, just to let you
sunglasses
know,
or an eye patch.
just to let you know, you could pull it off. I didn't think anything. I was like, this is what he's on today.
Nice. I love it.
It's so funny, the eye patch, because back in 2007, which is crazy, I had to have eye surgery, which was super random. And you know, some people can tell, some people can't. But it was in December. But in that season, I was definitely all about going out, getting it. So I did. I had this beautiful gold dress for New Year's Eve and a gold eye patch because I was still getting outside.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the Huxtables when Claire broke her leg and
Yeah.
had the cane with the all the rubies and jewels and stuff on it. You got to make the best of the situation, baby.
You got to. Y'all thought I was staying home? I think not. It was New Year's.
I think the bleep not.
Right. Exactly. Don't get me started. All right, y'all. You know what time it is. Black Love Lens. This is where we take viral videos and give our take from a man and woman's point of view, especially to just give a little sprinkle on what we see in today's constant online chatter of just something a little more mature, a little more healthy, a little more reasonable and discussionable for those who are into it. So I saw this video and I thought it was valuable. So we're going to watch it and then we're going to comment. You ready?
Indeed. Let's do it.
Okay.
The more trauma a man carries, the more defensive he will be with his woman. Instead of being able to listen to her words and feel into her emotions and make her feel safe, he will instead feel threatened by her expression. That's because as a little boy, he was neglected or told off for having emotions, told that it's weak. So he's disowned that part of him. So when his woman expresses that she's not happy with something, instead of seeing that as a valuable resource for growth and connection, it evokes in him the rage of his wounded inner child. Other coping mechanisms include dismissing or minimizing your needs, shutting down emotionally, or losing interest in you. For a man to make his partner and family feel safe, he has to be interested in reclaiming those lost parts of himself. That's when he moves from angry to calm, defensive to curious, disconnected to connected.
That was good.
Indeed. He is not off at all. Certainly, some men do not manage the feedback well. I think feedback is a beautiful thing. I think it would allow me to be the type of man I want to be. So, intent is great, but impact is more important. And so when a person gives you feedback, that's what they're telling you. They're telling you if your intent and your impact actually add up. And so, some men are just not in tune with themselves. Some men are a little more in tune with themselves, but they're not as in tune with women, so that they understand that women are speaking Venetian and we speak Martian, right? We're from Mars, women are from Venus.
Facts.
And so we have to not just see it through the lens of how we might think it should be communicated, or how we think you should feel about it based on our logic, right? We have to be accepting. And I think he gave some great tips at the end to really be able to hear what she's trying to tell you before you jump to conclusions or jump to irritation or jump to being defensive about it. And so, you know, he said the truth.
Yeah, he really did say the truth. And listening to it, not only was I able to see exactly how I've experienced this type of thing with men, but for myself. And that's why I thought this was such an important conversation, because it starts with, you know, when men do this and when men do that. But I definitely saw it as a human thing, because I've been in the same position where it's like I'm getting feedback, or because the way I was raised, and it's very interesting because I would say in the past week and a half or two, as I grow, I've gotten to see different things and certain situations happen. And because I'm doing the work, which is why I always encourage doing the work, some things that have happened habitually, now that they happen this time, I'm like, oh, that sounds a little funny. And this sometimes I don't want to divulge everything, especially if I haven't digested all the way. But I had a conversation with my dad, and I think my dad is an amazing man. I have no issues or problems with my father, but there were some things that he communicated to me about a situation, and now I'm hearing it with new ears, and I was like, I'm grown now. So now I'm hearing it from somebody who's done the work, somebody who's grown, and somebody who actively works on healing. Especially, this is why I became a life coach, because I work on the healing and it's so important. I'm seeing the value, but I'm hearing him talk to me. I'm like, this is what I grew up in. This is why when I hear certain things, it's very hard for me to digest. This is why when people come at me a certain way, I feel like I have to be a perfectionist, like I have to be right, like I'm trying my best. There's so many defense mechanisms and issues and blockages and things that come up that, just the same way he's talking about keeps men from connecting with women, I definitely believe it also keeps women from connecting with men, because we don't always realize. I know that it's very typical these days to be like, childhood wounds, go back to your childhood. But it really is kind of that, because going through some of the things that I've been going through in the past couple of weeks and just in life, I've been able to see like, okay, this is the way the person who raised me speaks to me. This is what they expect from me. This is what they believe to be true about life. And this is their moral standards and values. And now that I'm grown and working and moving, I'm like, oh, but that don't line up with me, and this is why that doesn't work for me. And that you're telling me is, to me, feels like you're dismissing my feelings. So if I'm growing up dismissing my feelings, then not only do I have to relearn how to address what I'm really feeling and being honest with myself, for myself, but I also have to learn to do that for other people, because it ain't just let it go.
Right.
Buck up. It is what it is. You do this. It's like, no. I have a process, honey. We can't deny my process, because in denying my process, we're denying my truth. And if I can't live my truth, then I'm not living my truth. That's a problem.
I just want to clap for you. A beautiful moment just occurred, and you're not even fully aware yet, but I am here to share. Right? I am so proud of you in this moment, like unbelievably proud of you, because when you first sent me the video, even though what he said was true, I scoffed at it, because it's not gender exclusive by any means. It is 100,000% a human problem and a human issue. And there are many men who didn't feel seen and heard coming up, and there are many women who didn't feel seen and heard coming up. And so this is a universal problem. And so I said, is Jamie being biased and only picking the correction for the men much more often. Should I say something about that? And I trusted your heart and your commitment to both parts of the demographic and being beneficial to all of your audience. And so I just decided to trust. And I decided not to be like what that man is describing in the video, whereas if I don't initially like it, this is my reaction. I reeled the scoff right back in. What he said is true. I can totally agree with that. Allow you to give your feedback and then point out that it's not a one gender challenge or a problem. It's not a situation that men suffer from more than women. Anybody who doesn't feel seen and heard is going to at times find it difficult to see and hear other people unless they do the work. And so you did the work. And so this is like a beautiful real life example, even though we aren't in a romantic relationship. This is exactly what he was talking about, playing itself out in real life, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes on Black Love Lens. So I don't have to crack the joke and say, this is going to be Black Woman Love Lens. No, it is still a very balanced Black Love Lens. So I wanted to give you your flowers. And I mean, when I'm not exaggerating at all, like I was over here, as you were talking, I'm just like bouncing on the inside with excitement, like, hey, you trusted it and it worked. See how easy that was? Worked right on out. And so sometimes in relationships, you have to pick your battles, man. Sometimes if you give a person time, and I'm one of those people, if you give me time, if I love you, I'm gonna think about everything you said more than once. I'm gonna give it some serious consideration. I'm gonna take a serious look in the mirror. And so it's okay to trust that part of the process. And when you are dealing with somebody healthy, which you have just demonstrated, that doesn't mean that, you know, there's zero more healing to do for the rest of our lives, but you're in a pretty healthy place for you to even do that. And so I'm excited for you. And I even feel just more encouraged about the whole Black culture in this moment. We're not necessarily doomed. It might work out.
We might just be okay.
We might just pull it together at the last minute.
Listen, no, I love that. And I received that. And it feels really good. This is why I encourage people to do the work, because it's not easy to get here. And I don't want this to be, you know, I'm pretty genuine when I pick the videos. Sometimes it's like, oh crap, it's Tuesday. Like, let me, you know, but sometimes it's like, okay, this could be good. But I definitely want to create a space where there is unity and there's union and it's so good to have a woman and a man speak, because sometimes even you and I have found that it's just our language. Like we're saying the same thing, but if we work it a little bit, then we're like, oh, you know, it makes sense. And that's all I want to, because I feel like that's what's missing. It's like one person says, or just like this video, when men did it, and it's like, I was listening and I was like, oh, it's not just them. Now I see where they do that, but I'm like, I have done that. And you know, just, you know, your reaction to my response is so beautiful, because it's just like, this is the kind of thing that I hope when I am in the right romantic relationship, that not only that they can see, but this is my expectation for both of us. I'm not perfect. Like you said, there is more healing. Happy to do. It is going to be what it is, but I'm willing to do the work. I'm going to look, I'm going to scrutinize. I'm going to try to see things from all angles, because that's just my jam. That's who I am. I'm not going to be doing it for my man so he can feel comfortable. And I need this for my sanity to be honest about what I'm seeing, hearing, conversing about, what I'm listening to, because it helps me when I'm taking things in. It gives me discernment. And it's like, okay, yeah, like, I'm not trying to be that girl. Well, man, did it, like, there's a lot that needs to be done on all ends, and this is a human thing. So I was here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to pull from what he said. You know, he said, get curious. So if you know
Whew.
going into it that we're not speaking exactly the same language, it's English, but it's Venetian English and Martian
Correct.
English. So he suggested, get curious, right? Ask your partner to help you translate.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, I want to make sure I'm, you know, it might, guys, we can be very logical. So when a woman starts to express, you know, what I had to remember today is that men work on, you know, they examine what they think about something and then decide how to feel about it. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
women will look at it and assess how they feel about it, and that determines how they think about it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
totally different process, and it's okay. There's not, you know, as men, of course, we're gonna be like, "That's she doing the wrong way,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's
Right?
backwards.
But not for women. It would be
Yeah.
when guys do it that way, it's the wrong way,
Yeah.
right? But not necessarily for women. And so, if you acknowledge what she's saying, say, "Hey, I heard what you said. I want to make sure that I fully understand. So, you know, can we have a discussion just around clarity, not disputing anything you're saying or whatever, but just making sure that I fully understand the scope of what you're trying to communicate to me." And then usually when that happens, instead of the person just repeating themselves, they would kind of say it in a slightly different way. And if you can get them to say it in maybe 3 or 4 different ways, then you can say, oh, okay, you know, it may even begin to click to you. But if we just knee jerk react to it and become defensive and, you know, deflect and redirect or shut down or all the things that people do that destroy effective communication, then we're not doing justice to or giving the relationship a chance to thrive. And so, you know, even though I mean, I went through all the gamuts. Like, he's just saying what women think in a man's voice, and
Yeah.
I
You
literally
got
had a
to.
moment, and then I
Yeah.
snapped out of it. Like, you know what? Wait a minute. We've been doing this for quite some time. She is as fair as they come, and this will work out.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, here we are, working out.
It working out. No, I love that. That's so great. Yeah. I don't remember so much what he said, but I know there's some of the things that it made me think about. And I'll post another reel that I just, you know, recorded a few days ago. But sometimes I feel like if we're not putting in the effort to understand each other, like I did this whole reel on, like, y'all know we're gonna die, right? We don't live forever.
Right.
We're literally gonna die. And I sometimes feel like people don't think about that. They just think, oh, the next girl, the next person, or I'm not gonna we're going through the motions, we're going in our things, and let me just work and focus, and I can't did it. And we do all these things, and it's like you're acting like you live forever. You're, you know, 40, 46, 48, 50. Like, how much longer do you think this thing is gonna rock?
Right.
While you're just flipping through, you know what I mean? You flipping through people, you're flipping through your emotions, you're flipping through yourself, you're just moving through everything. And it all sounds good to check the boxes off that we have learned are important, but we don't live forever. And this is not something that I think about often, even though it is an arrogant assumption to assume that I'll wake up tomorrow. Every time I wake up, I lay in the bed and I'm like, oh my God, thank you. You know, then my brain starts thinking. I'm like, thank you that my brain thinks. I move my arms and my fingers. And I'm like, thank you so much, God, that my brain connects to the rest of my body and I can respond and react. That is a blessing. But how often we just get up, get out of bed, and it's like, you opened your eyes, you can see.
Right.
Like, you know, you have people next to you that love you. You have events going on. You know, I try to make everything like, I don't always have the capacity for everything, but I went to LA last weekend because I don't even know what date it is, but I was in a wedding and I was helping plan a baby shower and I was doing the baby shower. So not only am I, you know, decorating, tearing down, shopping, making drinks, and hosting the baby shower, I got to turn around tomorrow and be a bridesmaid. You know, so there's all these things, but it's like I wouldn't miss that for the world. the money on the dresses, the time spent did it, because these are the things. People love me enough to have me in their space and all these things. So I'm saying all that to say about life and death is like, I feel like if we're a little bit more cognizant about death and not just so shocked when it happens to like these young people and this and that, it doesn't have to be negative, but it's like, could we slow down a little bit more? Could we hear a little bit more? Could we just stop and think just a little bit more, just for the sake of, oh my God, okay, if this is our last conversation, or if I never, could we give just a little bit more to like make this thing a thing, you know?
Right. Yeah. And it's beneficial to you as a person when you gratitude reduces stress and anxiety and worry. Because thinking about and focusing on what's not there, you start to focus on what is there and appreciating what is there, which, you know, is the opposite of thinking about the things that are making you anxious and or worried and or stressed. And so, you know, I have to be honest that men inbox me all the time. Right? They just, you know, they don't want to have the discussion in public. And I would have to say the number one consistent thing that they're all saying is, you know, not feeling seen and heard, and the woman prioritizing how she feels about something so much that she totally ignores what the man is expressing that he thinks and feels about the situation. And it's one thing to listen to a person, hear them out, assess what they said, and then disagree. But it's a whole different thing to just universally, automatically deflect, redirect, and blame shift no matter what the circumstance is. And it's just a habit. I don't think it's that people don't love each other. I don't think it's that people don't care how the other person feels. It's a habit, usually created in childhood and or young adulthood. And so many people, including myself at times, have created the habit of reacting before we fully absorb and assess and give the situation a little grace. Right?
That was a mouthful, because I always tell people, and I'm still learning how to speak. This business is still new to me. I'm still learning how to speak as a life coach and sell. Not, I don't want to say sell, because, but you know, sales and marketing to an extent, it's just hard to, I want to attract and resonate, but that's the whole thing. But it is about the habit. And you're so right about our knee-jerk reactions and our habits. And this is why I try to tell people, you can say your affirmations, you can pray, you can all this and that, wait on the Lord all you want to. If you're not changing your habits, you're not changing your life. And you're not aware of your habits because they're habitual. So you need outside help. You need an Nyatu. You need a Jamie. You need a therapist. You need it doesn't have to be us, but it needs to be somebody. Because what I can say, again, with this past couple of weeks, with this, you know, eye-opening situation is, and I will be transparent on behalf of what I think women are going through and why it comes out this way. And you know how we bridge the gap.
Right.
But it's like, women, we're raised hard. We're raised hard. I mean, there are those women who could be daddy's little princess and all this and that. But a lot of us, the expectation is like, it's hard. I feel like sometimes I was raised to be more of what we consider to be a man. Now, was I raised to be a responsible adult? Yes. But a lot of the times with a lot of women that I speak to in my sister circles and friendships and things like that, when nobody worried about our emotions or how we felt or what we needed to do or how to process or it was get what you need to get done and do this. There's a lot of single mothers. I'll do it on my own. I'll pay the bills. This is how women are raised, thugging it out. I was raised to thug it out. Not rely on, it sounds cute to be soft and to whatever. But in all honesty, I was raised to take care of myself. You need to think for yourself. You need to have for yourself. You need to get your job. You need to do. I was raised by a man. I love my mom, but she's my glitter. She's like, cheerleading and cookies and all the other fun stuff that I do. And,
Right.
that all works. I had the most incredible, most balanced parents for me. But in that is where I want men to understand that same thing that this man said in the video we experienced. I didn't get the soft tenderness of, well, this is, I don't know if I should say this, but it came to my mind. I don't know if this is like effed up or what, but so I remember being like, what year was this? In the 90s, whatever, like 10, 11, whatever. And there was these guys, boys, and one of them thought I thought they were cute, and I was freaking mortified. I was like, he found out I think he's cute. Like, this is, I didn't know what to do. So I ran home and I tried to tell my mom about it, and I was just so embarrassed. She looked at me and she was like, she pretty much laughed at this whole situation. She was just like, and here I am mortified, and I'm pretty sure it came off like, think about being 30 something and you're looking at this like, this is entertaining. But I was just like, oh my God. Like, so there were things like that where I'm like, you're expecting like, oh my God, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about those guys. And if they think this and that and did it, but I felt kind of mocked or kind of like, girl, please, like, what are you? And so a lot of us were raised, it wasn't about like how we felt and how do you feel and what do you need to deal. It was like, just move on, girl, just get over it. And so now we're supposed to get in a relationship with a man and he has an issue and we're supposed to deal with it. And we don't know how to, we don't feel safe all the time expressing what is really happening within us because of the fear of being like, girl, like, and it's a very weird dynamic. It's kind of messed up, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of the way life is. It's a very weird thing where it's like there's a disconnect there for a lot of women. We were not raised in this tenderness that, not all of us, that people think just because we're girls.
I received that.
Yeah.
I received that. Yeah, that's tough. And
it's tough.
If you had to man up, then when a man starts talking about how he feels, you like, man up.
What are you talking about?
Up. You definitely got the man up.
And not only that, and I don't want to cut you up, not only to man up, but the opposite side of that is, I want to be heard. I want my feelings to be heard. I'm trying to tell you something. This is how I feel. And now it's coming out like this. And you're like, whoa. Because we weren't heard when we were, now we want to be heard. And like, that wasn't working. Now I want you to hear me. And like,
yeah. So that's what we have to do. We really have to practice new relationship habits. Metaphorically speaking, maybe the first 3 years I lived in this particular apartment, I would lock myself out once a year. Right?
Yeah.
So it's cool. I just, jump in the Uber, go get the spare key, come back, and it'd probably delay me an hour or less or whatever. God bless. But I came up with a solution. All I have to do is only lock the door with the keys. And then I can never lock myself out. If I never lock the door from inside and then close the door, then I will never hear that click and then say shit.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because when I close the door, it's still unlocked until I stick a key in it and lock it up. So it's just a habit that I never have to experience that ever again if I just create and stick to the new habit. And there are dynamics in relationships that are just like that, where if you just create the new habit, you'll never suffer through certain things ever again.
You understand?
It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Right? Because since I made the rule, I've locked myself out one more time.
It's okay. It's a habit.
But it's like every 2 years now.
Right. Progress.
Once a year. So yeah, it's absolutely progress. And so, yeah, man, it is okay to empathize. It is okay to give the person you care about and the person who you're working on something with some grace. It's okay. If you give them grace and it doesn't work out, it's not too late to get out of that situation. So again, our reaction to the hurt and the trauma and the disappointment is to like section off and close off. And the real secret is to, again, have your heart broken wide open and be okay with it. You know what I mean? That it's not this get over competition. It's not this, I have to show everybody that they can't play with me or that I ain't playing. And if you go into a relationship with that mindset, I promise you, you will not win.
You're like this. You're already like this.
You can't bully your partner into being what you want them to be. That's not a,
nobody
that's not a
wants to box
recipe for
you.
success.
Nobody wants to box you, boo.
Not at all, man. So, I remember being in my early 20s and being like, man, I don't care what the argument is about. It has to be you in my lap. We're going to create the environment one way or the other. So I don't care how super whatever either one of us is. If we're going to have this discussion, debate, or even if it's all out argument, you're going to have to huff and puff, and I'm going to have to huff and puff with you on my lap. And believe it or not, that doesn't eliminate all debate or whatever, but it influences the energy of the conversation tremendously. And again, that's just a habit. It's an agreement, and then it's a habit. We have a seat.
Come here. Yeah.
Let's wrap arms, and now, okay, now tell me. Now, what were you saying?
Yeah, it's really hard to go off on somebody when you're this close.
And they hugging you and they laugh or whatever. And sometimes you might be so bad, like, I don't want to do that today.
Yeah.
Habit, just like working out. Do it anyway when you don't want to do it if you want the results. And the same thing in the relationship. So I appreciate the clip, and I'm glad you chose it, and I'm glad I didn't resist it.
I'm so glad too.
And I'm glad we are here on this Winning Wednesday, giving people some tools and some perspective that I know can and will help them win if they are paying attention and if they create the new habit.
Yeah. And I mean, I really encourage people at some point, you got to get a professional. Again, whether it's a life coach or a consultant or a therapist, nobody's saying you have to do this weekly for the rest of your life. But I'm telling you, this is what my program is personally based off, is breaking the habits. That's why I can successfully say that I can pull your issue out at the roots and replace it with something else. Because the only thing is you can't see it. And we've talked about this before. Everything that you want and the person you want to be, it's already in you. I'm not teaching you how to be like somebody else or how to be like them or how to perform. We don't need no more performances.
Right.
But if you can just get into the truth about what you want to keep and what you don't, what is ailing you and what is not, what is working, what isn't, that's really all you need. But it is so hard for people to see. So it really is about replacing these habits. And also because it's very knee jerk. It's a knee jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. And most people, including what the guy said, when I think about men, just like I think about myself, I hate to demonize the ego because, again, at this point, the ego got a seat at the table. We are in our 20s, 30s, 40s. You've been here a while. So just, you got to see. I hear you, girl. Go on and sit down. I see you. You're here. But I recognize your voice against everything else. And the more I decide to tune in, I can hear it and just be like, all right, shh. Sometimes I feel like a crazy person at my place. I'm just like, shh, no. Because I can hear that part of myself wanting to protect myself. Right. And I think that's all men are doing. When I think about this clip, and I don't want to make assumptions about people, but when I think of people I've dated and this and that, and then I think about myself and how I was raised and the things I got to unfold in order for me to even understand and see that, I can see that they're just trying to protect themselves too. Like, oh, I've seen this before, or I'm not about to did it. And it's like, there's no amount of shouting to the rooftops or whispering or cuddling that I can do to get you to, but this is why we all have to do our own work. I get that you're trying to protect yourself, but I also sometimes can see like, oh, like, you got that one wrong.
Right.
I'm not them, or whoever, so it's kind of, it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. to add to what you said, you talked about people getting a coach, and let's be honest. Even though there are millions of people who are working with people, there are many more millions and billions of people who are not. And I just want people to pause for a moment and really think about people who are successful in life in anything, right? Michael Jordan, hands down best player to ever play the game, but could not succeed at the level that he would like to succeed until he got the right coach. Tiger Woods, arguably one of the best golf players in the history of golf. Swing coach. Warren Buffett, one of the best, well, not even one of. They're saying that historically he is the most successful investor in the history of investing. He got a team of advisors that helps him make the decisions about what to invest in. I don't care who you are, how great you are, how solid you are, how whatever the adjectives that you want to give yourself, no matter how true those things are, you have a blind spot. I don't care who you are. I don't care who, genius, Barack Obama, athlete, whatever it is, whoever it is, pastor, religious, it does not matter. Everyone has blind spots. And so there are some coaches that are out here to dupe you. But the real ones, the good ones, the effective ones, are just here to help you see a blind spot and then help you to form habits that will serve you and bring you what it is that you want. And so nobody should be ashamed of that. No one should run from that because you're running from what you want. I say all the time, you can, when you're on the outside looking in, you can see this person wants to go this way. Yeah. And they're on a one-way street that goes the way they want to go. But they are speeding, going the other wrong way down the one way. Not only are you not going to get what you're going, but you're going to crash. Speeding, going the wrong way down the one-way street. And so God the universe sets up these one-way streets towards where we want to go. But sometimes we find a way to lose. My mentors in business was like, hey, you can put a winner in the most losingest situation and they will figure out a way to win. And you can put a loser in the most winning situation ever and they will invent and discover a brand new way to lose. And so we don't want to be that person who always finds a way to lose, especially when there are coaches out here who can really give you a way to win. And if you pay attention and you listen to coaches, you allow yourself to examine enough material, you can see where people's hearts are. You can see where people's programs are, if it's designed to keep you single and just keep you in these bad habits so that you can keep paying them. And you should be able to tell when somebody's creating a program that's designed to get you to where you need to be so that you don't need to continue with the program. But for me, myself, I do want to continue with the programs. And I think that there's always more room and more perspective. So whether it be through therapy, whether it be through coaching, whether it be a combination of both or alternating between the two, there's always room to learn. There's always room to improve. There's always ways to strengthen your relationship. And when you do, man, you reap the rewards. When you have a loving, trusting, complimentary relationship, you will not be sitting and saying, man, I did too much to get to this. You know what I mean? You're going to say, I could have did this a long time ago. What was I waiting on for these results right here? And so, that's where we're at with it.
It's facts. I be trying to tell people, like, obviously, I'm a coach with coaches in my life. Like, I have people that I go to continue, but it's also, how do I say? This journey is full of treasure. When you do the work and you put in the time and you start to, your instrument starts to change. The way you see things, the way you hear things, it starts to change. And I experienced that myself, where I'm like, these things have been happening a certain way for a long time, but all of a sudden I'll hear it different. And sometimes it might be like this big, but I'll be like, I'll feel it like right here, like, oh, that felt a little different. But when you do the work and you get the tools necessary to help you navigate, you're going to actually, it's like I could have been coached 3 years ago on something and then come up against something today and been like, oh my God, like that sound different, alarms are sounding off. Now I'm deducing it differently. I'm running it through my system differently. We're like machines. So when we talk about habits, the way we're programmed, we hear so much about programming. This is science. We are machines. The way things are programmed, and that's why, doing the work, I'm so able to hear different things now. I'm like, no matter what it costs me, no matter the heartbreak that busts me wide open, no matter what I got and what I didn't get and what I paid for and whatever, it was all worth it to understand this moment, because I don't want to continue down this life road blind to this or this or that or that.
You just witnessed it in real time.
I'm just like,
we
what
literally,
a gift.
Yeah, anybody watching this, you just witnessed it in real time. What happens when you do the work? The light bulb starts to go off, and it truly is a beautiful thing. It's a beneficial thing to the people you're dealing with. It's a beneficial thing to you, and I wish and hope and pray for that for everyone, that they find a way and an opportunity and the courage and the commitment to do the work. To have those light bulbs go off for you is, you're on your way. And so, that was great for your audience to see you doing it in real time. And me too, because it was a different dynamic of it, but it was the same thing. That's the result of doing the work, because however many years ago, 5, 10, 20, who knows what I would have said.
1 year ago.
Right, 1 year ago. Yeah, totally different reaction to things. And so, I'm excited about my own growth. I'm excited to see your growth, and I'm excited that we share our growth together on these Winning Wednesdays with Black Love Lens. So if you're out there, I'm here to tell you, go get connected to the Sassy Method. Stop playing these silly games with yourself. Stop perpetuating the bad habits year after year after year and having the same results year after year after year. And stop putting yourself in a position to have to be pointing the finger about anything, when you can change the result, and you can be pointing the finger at yourself saying, I did that. I did the work, and look what the reward is for myself. So I'm not even going to endorse myself in this moment. Go get the Sassy Method. If you qualify, I highly recommend that you get involved right away. Here is a coach who just showed you in real time on YouTube Live how the work that can affect you, how she's doing the work herself. And so certainly she can help you do the work as well. And so, yes, Jamie Alexander for president. Peace. You hear me?
Yes, I love that. A little commercial, not a whole commercial, but a little commercial.
Yes.
No, but I love it. I love the support. I love the realizations. I love connecting with someone like you, who I consider to be very emotional, intelligent. You do the work. And I mean, this type of stuff that we do is only for people who are interested. Not everybody wants to be better. And I had to think about that too, like what people invest in. If you got a massive TV, or, your car looks this way, but you got a little apartment, a car is important to you, or watching the game is important to you. What you invest in. For me, I think for people like us, personal development, self-mastery, all these things are so important. All these people out here who want love, and me included, who think about all these things. Baby, it starts with you. If you can't hear or see, how on earth? You got plenty to do while you're waiting for your Boaz or whatever people is waiting for, like your man, your this, your that, your knight in shining, or whatever you finna get, whatever it is. Like, it starts with you, period. Because that same person that you think you caught is not going to be able to stand you if you. We're talking about you want to be married like day in, day out.
Right.
Make yourself tolerable to you in a genuine way. And then you can start to mesh and mold. But if you have no language, no tools, no self-love, no accountability, I've seen it. I watch it. I watch people in relationships, men and women, whatever the dynamic is, like you have no accountability and you're really arguing with this person. And I'm watching you. You haven't said nothing about your part. They can't do nothing for you. And you up here making it sound like it's like, oh God.
Oh man, the truth will set you free. And so, hey, I'm in Nyatu Marvelous Hitch. You can come book me at thehitchagency.com. You can go to Facebook, and Nyatu Marvel is right there down there on the screen. That is my government name, my birth name. Even my son's name is realer than real. And on Instagram, I'm in Nyatu Marvel is Hitch, no spaces. And so, yeah, you can go back and look at some of my old content, and you will go through those videos, and you will start to pick up pieces of the puzzle. I promise you. And I don't even want to work with someone. I can't help that I have been very intentional about investing in all types of other businesses and having other things going on so that I never have to play a game with my clients to be able to get your money. I don't need it.
It doesn't have to be that. Yeah.
I don't need it at all. And so I'm just here because I am a Black love enthusiast, and I really see people in pain behind their failures to curate the type of love and relationship and romantic experience that their heart truly desires. And I just would love to do anything I can do to change that, because I know that the domino effect will be couples being able to really unify in a healthy way. And that example and that experience will inspire people to unify in other type of ways. And so I just know that it will be the thing that really changes things out here. It will be the drop in the ocean that rippled all the way across it. And so that is why I do this. And so, yes, you cannot lose getting involved with the two of us in any way that you can. And I encourage people to do their homework, go to Jamie's Instagram, watch her videos, see how fair and balanced she is, see how healed she is, see how insightful and enlightening that she can be when she speaks. And then do yourself the best favor you've ever done and get started.
Do yourself a favor, and likewise, because I was looking through your stuff and I was like, ooh, this guy's amazing. He just gets it. So like you said, you can't lose with either of us. And yeah, well said. I think you killed that. Y'all know the drill.
Hey, I hope you guys are having a great week so far. I hope that it's been a winning Wednesday for you, like it's been a winning Wednesday for me. And I can't wait to see what we talk about next week.
That's right. So you guys like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend if you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same place. Black Love Lens. Peace.